we digress from that. Even at this electoral process, part of the electoral process, what's the kanjwa? What are the difficulties in one of the electoral process? Because one of the things I learned the other time will be ABC led their presidential ticket.
Yes.
They sold it for 100 million.
That's ridiculous.
Do you understand? They sold it for 100 million. Fine, I'm just looking at, because it's part of the electoral process.
Yes.
The party participation, political party participation. So I'm looking at that exorbitancy. And then, not only at APC, but at the presidential level, they did it both at the states
governorship
and even at
50 million.
Or maybe there, the model for cannot afford. Even the people who are still,
yes, they stay back.
They stay back because they don't have the funds. So, aside money, because I'm not the money, but the main
motivation,
brain and motivation. So, what other challenges do you think we are experiencing in the electoral process?
There are so many challenges. Even on election day, and then more challenges of INEC officials if they're early at the places that's polling units.
Okay.
For example, each local government where their own terrain difficulties, whatever,
yes.
And those difficulties we for say some months ago before that day.
Yes.
And that day is supposed to, election is supposed to start 8 a.m.
Okay.
But sometimes you see 8:30, they're still at the local government, for example, here in Onitsha. In the by-election, some never let the local government to different wards. The polling is as of 8:30.
Okay.
You have to go to the election, set 8 o'clock, 9. Obviously, here, the parties have to be there. Be sure that everything needed for that election must be there.
So, one of the things is about logistics.
Yes. And this has been occurring over and over again.
So,
sometimes
whose responsibility it is?
The election falls under the purview of INEC. Everything, just the police is there and other security agencies to guide the officials and the voters from people maybe that want to do any funny,
Yes.
Or if the security agencies none of them.
Okay.
When you're talking about the challenges again, sometimes we see complaints on the part of the security agencies. Will tell us that Anambra election, for example, they deploy 30,000 policemen.
Mm-hmm.
I do ask myself, yes, it's good. Over these years, some of the states in Nigeria, like Anambra, Imo State, Abia State, some places are having issues of insecurity. Okay. Why has the police not be able to live up to the expectation? Can they model that apathy on election day? Because if you look at 2021 election of Anambra, we had about 2 million plus people that registered, but people that decided the fate of Anambra for the 4 years, 2021 to 2025, the election that produced Governor Soludo, people have voted 200,000 plus. That's 10%. So you see that people lost
interest.
Yes, because of security issues. And that was at the time when it was hard for people to wear party uniform, branded uniform, yes, or brand their cars. We have these statistics. Manda Bogunani, Manda Bana, Kadafia Bo, Ubudadina, okay, Tima, or Joe, Tomago, some places, Manadat, Iala, Sumo side. People fear Bafanine. But if our police, if our security agencies were walking up to, I just heard in the news that they deploy about 3 helicopters for each election. Yes, it is good. If the primary duty of the police, they have been living up to this expectation, because the federal government is primarily in charge of the security apparatus of this country. Mm-hmm. From the military to the Navy, the Air Force, the police, the DSS. You can't handle a rifle as a private citizen without the authority of these security agencies. And there are limitations in some states. So these are the things that make them mad. And when we talk about on election day, or they can them mad and well, imago, man, I say we go in on each other. You consider to vote in the area. I am alone. More you consider to vote no keja. You don't have to be in a
jet
yes. Makanema if I am able to
okay.
So these are some of the challenges. If they are our state, Nigeria as an entity is secured, you are supposed to free. And again, I make a go school advance. The only thing you need is to use a smart card. You can vote online through your phone, just like you are doing in another advanced country. You click get in. Just the only thing, no matter your details is bam. Out of 15 political parties that are contesting election, you can click A, B, C, or Imago, as the case may be. Yeah. You don't necessarily have to travel or
yes. You jump on a line.
You are on a line. You are not so some of these challenges, I need to step up. I don't see na na Bivas na yotago machine na motor ilu na say ngba in order of my feature gagi amari naka. Some of these things I process na appear as a country. Okay. So that's a challenge
now. I want to throw that things into a kaitinyo on another thing. You know, I need a judicial interference.
Yes. Now the process of
the electoral process. Because I noticed a situation whereby Madam, two candidates in a political party and via the court to MSC election. You see the case of Chapas Okorena victory. I'm talking of Africa.
Yeah, leadership of
the party.
Yes.
Do you understand? The way make you that case no informal MSC Victor had the victory. At the end of the day, Eco ye and Mas right somebody. Now, Messi eyes will come one. Do you understand?
Yes.
Now, I am looking at something because if I will go judicial interference, do you understand?
Yes.
The party can choose their leadership without judicial interference because I'm on a factory media internal primaries now. INEC. Now, they as
must notify
INEC.
Yes.
So
INEC must monitor.
Yes. So we can do if any game because for the some political parties like na PDP and that's a national secretary.
Yeah, they are
na party cholia or jail court. As if now the party have guidelines to inform that person will go to court, maybe already in good terms with the judiciary. Do you understand? And a judgment that he should be restated. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So this judicial interference in party affairs, how do you look at it?
You know, judiciary, like you say, is the common hope, is the last of the common.
Yes.
Yes. But you see, in most of these political parties, what you see is the political gladiators. Once they clash, their interests are not married together. And then with this rivalry, and once this rivalry of taking ownership of having the structure of the party arises, I bet yes, we have some of this, like we are seeing PDP, the Wike faction and the other side.
Yes.
Just like you mentioned in Abga. You know, sometimes you see for past 30 years you have seen that in Abga. But the recent one between Ezekwemwa and the other man who had left the party, you cannot call yourself a national chairman of any political party without a formal national convention that is supposed to elect you. And before you do that, Onitshaness must monitor. Somebody who is not a member of a political party cannot summon any meeting as national chairman because the man who was fighting with Ezekwemwa, Barrister Slide, was never a member of that. He has left the party, come back. These are part of instigated crisis and a weapon at political parties. Just like in Nigeria now, some people are saying that the APC is trying to emasculate some parties. You know, like the problem we see in Labour Party since after, even before the elections of 2023, we've seen crisis within LOP, and after now we have seen Nenad Usman and the what's his name, Barrister Julius Abure. We have seen it also, even recently, the ADC, we have seen some of, even in PDP, just recently, they are calling for change of leadership. Wike is trying. Just some days they suspended the what's his name, Damago. So some of these things, when you have this clash of interest, that's where you start seeing this, and some persons who felt that their interest is not protected might leave or go to the court, and the court must do their job. And sometimes the court will tell you, go back and settle your case. That in previous judicial presidents, that Supreme Court has said that internal affairs of political parties should not be handled by the court, that they should do their own thing, settle within themselves.
Yes.
Because like we are brothers, like we know our things better.
Yes.
Within ourselves than outsiders who will come as a judicial but people who are going to settle the case between two of us. For example, if we are heading to the courts. So that is why we're calling most of our politicians to, sometimes they should not overeat the system. Sometimes you reduce your interest so that your political party will have some political gain. Some of these fights has caused so many problems for the parties. They have lost many elections, just like PDP. PDP have been losing elections, but also losing elections because of this fight. PDP that used to be the biggest and the largest party in Africa hardly finds its way, except in PDP, like states controlled by the PDP.